The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting hour of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Now, we've got kind of an interesting market out here, at least to me, although probably not a lot of people very interested in the market today. We're up 2.5 points on the S&P cash. Almost no volume, though. 1.72 billion shares, so very, very light. And the question is, are we going to have any cash come in for fund buying when we come back on Monday? My guess is that we're probably going to see a little sideways action. I've been waiting, but have not received my trim tabs data on fund inflows and outflows. But I suspect with the huge run in the dollar and the whiplash in it, we may be seeing, basically enough cash coming into the market to hold the market up through fund buying, but maybe not to move it. I have a feeling that some people have been getting out as cash has been coming in from Europe. As I say, sell when you can, not when you have to. And that is probably tattooed on every big broker dealer's hand to look at every single morning because they've got big positions. You don't move 10 million shares out in a market that can't accept it. If you do, all you do is destroy the actual value of the stock. You have to get a lot of press going and chum the waters out there and get a little bit of froth going. And then the stock comes back and you sell it to all the people who think they're getting a great deal. And that's pretty much how distribution works. If you believe Jesse Livermore, which I do, probably the best trader ever. Of course, he was manic depressive and tended to throw his cash away when he was depressed. And at least he didn't fly his airplane into a mountain, though. But he would throw his cash away, and then when he was not manic, he would get it all back. And but somebody that was plagued by manic depressive bouts his entire life, I always say that if there would have been lithium and would have known about lithium in 20s and 30s, he would have owned the entire country. He was that good a trader. Up 2 points, like I said, volume just a crawling. 1.74 billion shares on the consolidated New York tape. That is everything, including ECN traded shares. Shares not normally counted when you hear the volume for the floor, which doesn't even exist anymore. It's all electronically traded for the most part. The only difference is it's traded in New Jersey. It's not even traded on the floor there in New York City. It's in a bunker capable of taking some fairly heavy bombs and actually got a moat around it and backup generators in case everything went to hell in a handbasket. It's EMC shielded in case a nuclear bomb goes off anywhere close. Pretty much a full top tier military installation. I think the military set up how it was supposed to be built for them. Well, if you've been to the floor, I don't know. Have you been to, Mahwah, New Jersey. There you go. Anyway, it's an interesting place, but there's a few places, probably Hangar 59 and Area 50, Area 19, or Area 9, whatever that is, out in the desert. Probably as well patrolled, or not better, or not more. But I hear it's pretty good. As we said, up 2 points. There isn't a whole lot going on in the market. The question is, when we come back, what's going to happen then? Been watching the market and how it comes out. We've got a few stocks out here. I'm in a couple actually long in the longer term newsletter, and hanging in there pretty good. But I've got one that's got like 50. I'm expecting the next thing to come out. It's going to have 50% short interest. I don't know if the stock can go down. Short of claiming bankruptcy, you got 50% short interest. It's awful hard for a company to go down that isn't in severe problems. And I'm waiting for that one to take off. Its brother had a nice day today. So I'm suspecting it's going to come in there close. Got some other stocks that I've loved for a long time. They're up on a down day, or in fact, several down days. But those are longer term holds. For the short term, I continue to think we have weakness lower. And coming up on light volume into the weekend is very interesting. The other thing I thought was, I was thinking coming into this weekend with all the problems in the Mideast that we'd really switch from gold being the fear trade for the weekend and up on the weekend to crude. And of course, crude down fairly strongly today, which is very interesting to me, because that pretty much means that my thesis on the fear trade probably not quite correct. In fact, probably wrong. But kind of tough to say on that. But I didn't have any trades on in that area. I've been trying to figure out, wait for some of these things to start lining up and getting a little cohesion in this market. But we've got a little bit of everything for everybody everywhere in this market. But very tough to see exactly how that pans out. Like I said, maybe we get a sideways couple of days for the fund buying next week. But other than that, you may have about 2 days of support in this market. So you'll have to keep an eye on it. But I do digress.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1980, Texas oil barons Nelson Bunker Hunt and W. Herbert Hunt failed spectacularly to corner the market in silver after the brothers drive up the price. New supplies come flooding into the market, catching the Hunts by surprise. Boo. In a single day, silver plunges from $21.62 to $10.80 an ounce. And Bosch, Halsey, Stewart, Shields, the stock brokerage firm that basically they were lock, stock, and barrel in, nearly goes under. And part of the event that started Trading Places, the movie, was their events in there to actually corner silver. Of course, they changed it to cornering orange juice. At the time, and in fact, the years before that, my parents liked to go down to this little place on about 40, I think it was on 46 or 48th Street, downtown Kansas City, called Stroud's. Maybe it was on 65th. Been a long time. Anyway, good food. But the Hunt brothers loved to go down there too and eat. And right before, if they had a late starting Chiefs game, Nelson owned the Chiefs. They like to go down there. So I can remember being down there and seeing them, sitting at tables not too far away. Everybody knew who they were in the city. Strangely enough, I guess maybe it's the Midwestern culture. People wouldn't go up and bug them while they were eating. I think today that wouldn't matter where they are in the United States, people would come and bug you. They didn't have to have a private dining room or anything else. They were filthy, stinking rich back then. And Nelson lost a huge amount of cash, but after a number of years, they made it all back and more. I think both of them are dead now. I think Nelson died a couple of years ago. Bunky, W. Herbert. Bunky, I think, died several years ago. But it was one of the huge last big attempts to run a corner in the U.S. stock markets and or commodity markets. and why people still try. A lot of regulations in there to keep people from doing that anymore. And more than anything, people like brokerage don't want to have any one account with that much exposure anymore, lest the people from the government come and knock on their door. But on this day, one of the largest moves ever in silver, and caught people on the wrong side and nearly bankrupted two of the biggest guys on Wall Street at the time. Charlie Munger was out speaking in the Daily Journal Corporation, a newsletter publisher at or newspaper publisher. Munger was asked, what do you think of derivatives trading desks? And he basically said, it's a casino and drag. They make witch doctors look good. Now, the funny thing about it is that the biggest operation of this type is in Omaha. And, of course, it is part of the company that he's part of. The largest single derivatives operation these days, yes, is the people that deride it the most. And that's, of course, Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, and continue to think it's kind of funny that these guys badmouth what is almost half of their income now on a yearly basis. But interesting it still is. But two-faced, definitely, but always interesting. On this, not on this day, but I can't hardly think about what we're talking about this week, and the question of whether or not we're going to let basically insane people have nuclear weapons in the Mideast. And if you believe the press, we're really not going to do anything more than Neville Chamberlain did in 1938. Well, I'm going to play just a little bit of this because I think it has something to do as we look at the news this weekend.
This morning, I had another talk with the German Chancellor, Herr Hitler.
For people that don't, I'll interrupt this for a second. Neville Chamberlain, of course, Prime Minister of England at the time, decides that, and basically says that there's no way that we're ever going back to war again, and proceeds to go to Hitler and grovel at his feet to get any paper signed for any reason whatsoever.
And here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine.
We'll be back in a minute, but it's kind of interesting to think that history does repeat itself over and over again. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Think or Swim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Anyway, after the proclamation, which is normally called Peace in Our Time, Winston Churchill took to the floor of Parliament and said to Neville Chamberlain, "You were given the choice between war and dishonor. You chose dishonor, and you will still have war." And I hope we don't have that same admonition, but my guess is that there's reasons why history repeats itself, whether it's in the stock market or in world events, and that is that people can't help it. Their personalities don't change. They don't like to they don't like bad news. And what else can you say about that? But I don't know. Politics and tech, a very curious things going on out here. Mark Benioff from Salesforce has gotten knee-deep in a law that has been passed in Indiana. And the governor basically said, hailing it as a victory for religious liberty. Mark Benioff basically saying that he doesn't like it, and he's going to move all his people out of Indiana, which there's about 3,000 of them, because he says it's just a horrible anti-gay thing. And I think just on the surface, if you looked at it like that, it would be interesting. My thoughts go on to what's next. how far should a company get involved in the politics of either the national politics or state government? We've seen a few kind of things, mostly in the area of this law. The first thing that happened was a CEO was fired because he had religious beliefs. He was the CEO of Firefox. 6 months after that, we've had Apple threaten the state of Arizona. Arizona did back down. Apple quickly ran the company bankrupt, and the 800 jobs that they sold out to get are basically about 50 jobs right now. Apple may or may not actually start building that facility out there. So the question is, at what point does a state have to have at least some belief in what they're doing is right and ignore corporations? And at what point do corporations jump the shark and basically have it fly back in their face? Last week, of course, we had a political event in Starbucks that kind of, I wouldn't call it a huge detriment, but wasn't a huge boon to them either. And as we see more of this come along, just what and how far can people go? If this wasn't a politically correct thing to do today, say it was another company? Let's say that Lockheed Martin decides to leave a state because their senators won't vote for a war in the Mideast. Does this start kind of the balkanization of the United States, in which everybody has a axe to grind and everybody is trying to blackmail the states one way or the other? Maybe the most well-intentioned thing out there, but the question is, how far does this go? And is it going to take somebody blowing up a company before everybody backs off? And to me, it is probably not what happens today. But my guess is someone's going to try to outdo Mark Benikoff and become yet another flag bearer for some issue out there. And that issue probably won't be received as well. Kind of like Starbucks was kind of let's just call it a misfire, but it didn't blow up in his face. What's next and what's coming? And we've got a line of these. It's not just as few as they can be. Also, it kind of bugs me is that this is being reported incorrectly. The reason they passed this law is there are a whole bunch of nuisance lawsuits against people who have strong religious convictions, and why this law is being passed in Indiana. Of course, they'll have you believe that they're pushing people off into death camps, which is far from the truth. And it's just tough. But I think that there's much more to this to come. And my guess is in the next 6 months, someone's going to do something pretty stupid. And I don't know what it's going to be, but my guess is it's going to blow up in their face. But some big questions, probably not a lot of answers yet today. But I'll be thinking about it.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
In weird stock market news, one of the strangest things that's come across my desk in a while is a ad in China, and this ad is being run by the you'd probably call him the YouTube guy. He's worth about $3 or $4 billion in today's cash, at least for the stock market. I don't know how big the market is for it. I can't pronounce his name nor his company's name. I won't butcher it or even trying it. But they're running an ad, and this is on national television in China. The ad has a bunch of South Park-looking people on there and kids, and one of them is Hitler. Hitler, instead of having the swastika on his arm, has a Apple logo on it, and this basically is an ad, in roughly translated, comes down to crowdsource freedom versus arrogance and tyranny, and basically it is a pitch. I don't know if there's a lot left in or lost in translation here, but I think Hitler with a Apple armband on is well, it's our second N-word of the week with old Hitler. And if you didn't like him for any other reason, you'd have to hate him for that mustache, because now no one else can wear it, right? It's the Hitler mustache. If you wore it, you're pretty much Hitler. I don't think anybody can pull it off anymore. But kind of a very interesting ad campaign out here. Not a lot of blowback so far, but a lot of vitriol aimed at Apple in China. And so far, no real blowback from the Chinese government. It's unclear to me how much they really know about Hitler in China to begin with, but apparently somebody knows something about it. What else can you say? Very strange and very weird. Now, of course, in the United States, if you watched television at all in the last few weeks, you have to think about the ad that Android and Google is running. Very, very soft key kind of ads saying that you don't have to be part of the board collective, that you can be different. And if you've haven't even noticed it at the end, it's got the little Android guy coming out with his peace signal from the corner of the screen. It's kind of a cute commercial. And it's nothing but different animals all getting along together. And we can be different and use the same thing, which is Android, which is their point. No ads so far in China targeting Android and basically equivocating them with Hitler. But a lot of people keep on thinking that they're going to do well in China. And I think that I think people really miss the whole idea that, and they think we're horrible racists here all the time in the United States. I think a lot of people don't understand that we're probably about a 2 on a 10 scale. A lot of those people are 6, 7, 8, 9s, and 10s. And just because we don't know a lot or pay attention to them, we kind of act like they don't exist. There's some kind of moral equivalency between us and them, but it's pretty big. Don't be surprised if we've already had Google, I think, leave China. We've had Google leave Russia. There's a lot of nationalism and hatred that goes around that far exceeds anything we have in this country. But we're pretty myopic out here. But it's both kind of funny, weird, and disturbing. But you never can tell. Anyway, it is a mad market. And I can't see over here on my screen, which I've got my commodities up, but crude's been coming down. I think it's down about 5% today. Maybe someone in the den can post a quick price that I cannot see out there for the price of crude, but it has been moving down. The thing that's probably most interesting is that it's been moving down, and we haven't had really any kind of movement in the S&P cash out here. 2057 and 1.89 billion shares. Thanks, Steve Rhodes. Down 259, 48.84. So yeah, down 5%. So yeah, it's down pretty good. Yeah, the future's down 250. So it is one of these things that kind of interesting to see this go on the way it is. My guess is that we get in the last 30 minutes and we start seeing the market pull back. I think before we go higher, we've probably got to go down and test that 2040 on the S&P cash. 2038 is where I've got the support level at. I could, if we've got a kind of a bad weekend or a bad open on Monday, I could certainly see us come back down there and tag it and then maybe see some upside through fund buying. But my guess right now, like I said, I haven't got the trim tabs data yet, or maybe they haven't sent it out, but I think it's normally due the 25th or 26th. On just how much fund buying there's going to be. But right now, I have to probably sit on my hands thinking that we will see lower rather than higher prices. Maybe a couple of days higher. Maybe we get a couple of days going sideways like this. But, we continue having issues like we've got in crude out here. It would be problematic. There were a couple of, let's just take a quick look because I see if there's any movement out here. We broke the low with lighter volume in some of the big ones like ExxonMobil. Down a little on light volume on it today, so not a lot happening out here. So that's a little weird. OXY. Quick take a look at it. Down a little on it, but not a lot of volume either. So I'm kind of curious what this is telling us out here. I don't think it's telling us quite a lot. Maybe Monday we'll have a lot. I think more than anything, it's telling us that there is no fear trade again going into the weekend. Really not seeing a lot of movement in gold and, basically people piling on it. So I still see a market that is incredibly indifferent to the chances of this market going down, which tells me that the market's probably going down. As soon as people start getting worried about it going down, start buying a lot of puts, we start seeing those premiums expand in downside action. Maybe we've got something. And as I always say, I tend to not want to cover any short that I have until I see outright demoralization. That is kind of an interesting thing. What else do we have out here? That's pretty much it. 8.8, $7 and we tested the same thing in Oxy. We didn't have a lower low out here yet, but you basically just have to hold 8.8 million shares from that December 16th low at $72.32, and you bounced off at one with 5.4. If you get lighter volume out here, maybe this thing could do it. You need it to close back above that $72.32. So just a quick look out here. Okay, AMN Health Services. AHS. Okay. This one's kind of been interesting. We talked about it last few days. You basically had kind of a nice reversal signal, but it came on lighter volume yesterday. Of course, we're looking at the February 20th high, $23.23, 3 million shares into it with 800,000 shares on the 25th yesterday. Reversed back up into it with 543,000 today, 383,000 shares. You've got a nice little gap down here that got tested once already at 2050. So not a huge move, about a 15% range out here, but not a lot of clues in this one. I was watching and hoping that we'd get a break one way or the other in it. As far as the bulk shippers out here, Diana Shipping is down at its low, and you had a huge volume low back on December 17th at $6.28. 1.6 million shares got into it with 430,000 shares. Kind of made it in a nice big trading range right back up to the previous high on December 23rd. Now we're all the way back down out here. Yesterday, 617,000 shares. Today, 246,000 shares, and continues to be very interesting as far as I can tell. But what can you say? There are some light volumes out here. The question is, maybe the shipping rates can't get any cheaper in bulk drive shippers. You think things can always get cheaper, but maybe the question is they have hit some kind of low out here. But I'm going to be watching those in the next few days. Genuine Parts Company. And this one's another one that's out. It was at $109 not too long ago on December 29th. Came down fairly strongly in a trend basis. Also had a gap down, but got to February 2nd at $91.84. Bounced up to $98.48 on February 17th. It's meandered its way back down here. Kind of got into that previous low with 600,000 shares on the 11th. Kind of bounced, came back out here. Now we're in here with about 500,000 shares and back in the trading range. So there are a few stocks out here. Intel, also kind of interesting. This thing's been bouncing along what is majorly huge support. I suspect that if there's some companies that are going to do well in a pullback, business could still be fairly decent in Intel, although this is a pretty large pattern out here. I kind of like the support. The reason is that Microsoft will be shipping Windows 10 a little bit earlier, so I suspect we're going to have a little bit more business. Some of the chips that had been thought to come out late this year or the first quarter of next year look like they will be out by September. So if things could go any better, at least on the business side, I don't know about the demand side, but on the business side, Intel's doing very well. They basically had some nice partnerships that they released yesterday with Micron and some of the others already about 3D memory. That's going to be a nice income stream, as it's going to cost them nothing, and they're just going to get nice checks in the mail for licensing that technology to others like Samsung and Micron. SanDisk still problematic because they are the odd man out on this deal so far, and I think that's why I dug through part of the downgrades and the end of the world scenarios for SanDisk. To me, the bigger issue tended to be that they are odd man out now with no real deal with Intel for this 3D memory. And if you don't know what 3D memory is, just think about, Florida is a good example of this. All one-story houses, or maybe at the most two-story houses. And you go to Manhattan and it's nothing but high-rises. They are basically building memory on its side these days, so it can go up to the stratosphere in these chips. There's a lot of unused room in those chips. And that's pretty much what this is all about. SanDisk is odd man out so far on this licensing deal, where everybody else is pretty much ponied up to Intel. Most people do not know the largest memory manufacturer in the world. Is it SanDisk or Micron or somebody else? Class, Bueller? It is Intel. They put more memory in their chips as a side note, and build more chips with other things in memory and all the things they do than any other single supplier, and have been the largest memory manufacturer since about 1998, I think. They try to stay away from that business unless it brings them additional revenues and additional margin. So this is a great way for them to get out of that 3D memory business, sell the technology of building it, and get the cash back, but not have to worry about watching their margins fall overall in their business. So that is interesting. Okay. Signet Jewelers. Now this one, very interesting to me yesterday. It's going up against its previous high. That high was November 25th. It spiked higher with 4.7 million shares. Got into it with 2.2 million shares yesterday, 573,000 shares today. Looks like it may close over that 134.62 high. The question is whether this thing's going to be just like the rest of them. All the volume falls out and it goes right back into the higher range of a trading range. But so far, not a lot of juice out here that makes me think we are going higher. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we come back, we got a couple more to look at. Of course, we're going to have a big night, I think, in the Tech Insider Hour at the 4 o'clock hour with Tom O'Brien. Got a lot of stuff going on. And the question is, I think, can we get it all in? Because last week, pretty much all the tech news, we were kind of light on it, I'll admit. In fact, a lot of people that I see in the tech industry were down, pretty much drunk and getting fat at South by Southwest. Not a lot of news coming out, but we will be talking about Meerkat and Periscope tonight, which is probably the big thing that came out of South by Southwest. Not a lot of other stuff people are talking about. Some interesting news in space travel. We've got some interesting news in biology and healthcare. And just a lot of stuff. Maybe we'll talk about, I went over and looked at the new Samsung phone at lunch today. We'll talk about that a bit. And we'll probably have a few opinions from Tom O'Brien about technology as we discuss it. But anyway, we talked about Signet Jewelers out here. I think you want to be watching that and whether this comes back in. But basically everything I've been seeing has done that. It's been coming back into this trading range when we've seen it. Some of these stocks coming back close to support levels. Sierra Wireless, SWIR, And when we look at this one, nice gap on the 6th of November, 4.8 million shares. And what else can you say? Came back into it with 3.3 million shares on February 6th. And now we're kind of toying around with 468. So few stocks out here that look rather interesting. SYY, another one, Cisco Corporation. This thing kind of broke out of a trend above $38.85 on September 8th. But in a bigger trading spike out here to $43.40 on December 9th. I don't remember what the deal was on that. I'll have to go back and look at it. But kind of back at least to support levels. Not a huge gainer out here. Of course, the food services got me. More interesting to me out here has been just the last few days of movement in Weyerhaeuser. Of course, we got all the big news on housing. And Weyerhaeuser not really doing a whole lot out here. Maybe making a low. And you probably want to watch this if you're interested in the housing business. But certainly the March 6th low had 6.6 million shares at $32.82. Got into it and pierced it with 3.9 million shares. But no real pullback today and extremely light volume. And that goes back to the patterns we've seen in Oxy and Exxon, which is a lot of these stocks should bounce, but they don't. And I always get back to what we talked about many times on the show before, which is Sherlock Holmes and what you learn. Of course, one of his most favorite or famous episodes was about the dog that didn't bark. A dog barked at everybody that it didn't know. The owner was killed. The dog didn't bark. Therefore, the dog had to know whoever came in and killed its owner. So you can infer things from it, but when stocks like this don't instantly roll or bounce, when you look at Exxon, when you look at Oxy, where those stocks, tested their lows on very light volume, should have rallied, did not. Those are the stocks that I say are the dogs that didn't bark. Something else is going on out there, and you have to infer from that there's something else. If your prognosis is wrong, you certainly probably are not going to make a profit. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you Monday, same bat channel, same bat time for another edition of the Power Trading Hour.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.